on to you, Libra. So you Libras have the Page of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. So these three cards right here for you Libras are you Libras are sure now more than ever that you Libras are becoming more selective, in particular about the quality or the type of people that you date. Overall, the quality. The Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Seven of Cups represents you Libras know good and well that you definitely don't want to hang around someone or others in general that's going to do everything to bring you down, lower your value, break you down, break your body, break your mind, break your spirit, right? Break your desire to be you, to be inspired. And what I mean by that is a lot of people don't really like themselves the way that they proclaim that they do, or the way that they act like they do, because they really do make decisions that go against their own self-empowerment. And the reason that's high level game right there. But think about it. But the sun, right, to kind of give y'all some more, right? The sun, and the thing is, the sun and the Four of Wands is about, because you Libras are realizing that this stupid version, this stupid, twisted, or warped version of what modern day relationships is, you know, this idea that, you know, you say that you don't want to deal with struggle of on both sides don't want to deal with struggle of. They're looking for the finest individual. They're looking for the person that their hips spread nicely. They can do, you know, splits on this. They can you know, they have the longest hair. They have the most beautiful face. They can do this. They have the this, that, and the third. They just command the room. They switching in the street. Cars stop. You know, or you know, the nonsense that you hear all the time, right? The fabricated Colin Kaepernick fabricated nonsense, right? The fabricated stuff, right? The idea of, oh, you know, they want the tallest such and such. They want the person that's making 100,000. A lot of you Libras are realizing that when they get all of that stuff, those people are not even functional a lot of the times. They might. Sometimes they might. But that is the struggle of. Because those people who are too pretty think that they're too good to hang out with just one person. And plus, they also know that you only want to hang around. They have an insecurity where it's like, how do I know that you only want to hang around me because you really like me? Or is it because you're just attracted to my physical looks, or my handsomeness, or the fact that I may have money? So they know themselves that they're being used as a piece of meat. And the thing about it is, that is actually the struggle of, because what isn't struggle of is when actually a person has to take time to develop their character. So when you're matching characters together, it becomes a better overall relationship between yourself, Libra, and another person, because now you actually match, you link up or match, or you get together based upon substance, as opposed to, yes, substance to a certain extent in that sense, but not anything that will keep you together in a long-term sense. You're much more bonded together through insecurity. And a lot of you Libras realize that that's a dub, that's whack. So a lot of you Libras are going after the substance. Like, you know, Libra is a zodiac sign of beauty. Y'all love beauty. But a lot of you Libras are kind of like weighing it out, like what's more important, right? What has more value? Is it that you want a person to be the most handsome or to be the prettiest in the world? Or is it that, yeah, they could have moderate handsomeness, moderate beauty, but then they develop their character, right? And the Hierophant in the Judgment represents how, because truth be told, beauty or physical handsomeness is both a gift and a curse. Anyway, the Hierophant in the Judgment is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you Libras understand that a lot of you Libras are learning to look beyond the process of how you date. Look beyond your friend, your own projected ideologies. And what I mean by that is you're not projecting it, right? Because you're learning to look past through your own once projected nonsense. I'm talking about in particular the nonsense that other people in society and just your friendships in general project onto you, right? The idea of, how do I make such and such like you? The idea of how do I make such and such like you? That you make such and such like you from money and having a car. I'm 15. In New York, you can't even legally drive yet. I'm 15. You can't legally drive until you're 18 in New York. I'm 15. Yeah, well, you better have money than you have people, who are like me in the sense, right? Like, who has my anatomy, if you catch my drift, taking penitentiary chances just to be able to scrape together a couple of dollars or whatever to impress some people, right? All because people put this unrealistic, stupid pressure on others, right? That they can't even provide even for themselves. That if you don't have money, you nothing. And in order to get, and it's like, and the thing is that further and further people get away from the actual real stuff and they become more and more shallow. And they don't even actually say the reality of what it is. To where the real knowledge of when you find your own self-worth, Libra, you do have the knowledge and the insight and the enlightenment and the foresight to know exactly what's going on. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying this to understand that how people come together in relationships is about love and respect and wanting to overachieve and do better for themselves. But at the same time, you have some difficulties, Libra, because you have people that's going to try to stand in your way, Libras, and is going to tell you that if you're not looking for the most beautiful, whatever, beautiful, gorgeous, long-haired, silky, smooth, whatever, or if you don't have, or if you don't, on one side, but if you don't look for the most handsome, tall, physically attractive, hair on the top of their chest, 6-pack type of, 8-pack type of nonsense with the obliques ripped as well, and ripped and striated and all this other type of nonsense, that you're no value. And a lot of you Libras are starting to come up on out of that programming enough to realize that you may end up having to stop, like I said, you may end up having to stop hanging out with some of your friends. So for you Libras, what I'm really realizing on a long-term level within these past, I want to say 3 to 6 months, is that a lot of you Libras have been learning to a lot of you Libras are learning to shed your own shallowness and the false perceptions of what it means to be a Libra at first and what you thought it was. And you're learning to shed that ideology of who taught you what is cute. Me personally, I've been in love with Bengalis. I've been in love with straight up and down Indians from, families from India, persons from India. Been in love with, Yugoslavians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. So it's like, what exactly is, Muslim, Christian? What exactly is, what exactly is beautiful? Ultimately, you have to make that decision for yourself. So now that you're developing that more well-rounded, broad, you know, enlightened view of things, you're not living in a cave like people who refuse to see the truth, right? They're just looking at shadows on the walls, which are illusions, like the Wizard of Oz type stuff. Now you Libras are starting to realize that you have to shed some more friends or some more associates, because those people, they're not real anymore. They're not you realize that they're not real. You realize that they are very much so trying to assimilate into the backwards version of how the vast majority of people on the internet and everywhere else in the world, in a general sense, is talking. The person got to, one side has to have money, the other side has to be the Knight of and the Knight of Cups represents you realizing now, Libra, excuse me, I just did the Scorpio video. But now a lot of you Libras are realizing that it is about the matters of the heart, and seeing the truth behind the idea of when people told you, right, that when you were younger, that this person didn't like you or whatnot, seeing how much of a lie that is from your own realization now. Seeing that when people told you that you're insignificant, or tried to get you to feel like you were insignificant because you ain't make a certain amount of money or you didn't look a certain kind of way, so it means that this person doesn't like you. Then when you Libras actually go interact with some others and people like you a lot, and then now you Libras see it like you shouldn't be able to pull anybody, the way that you start to see now how much of a lie that is, how much of an illusion that is in one element. You realize that, oh, it is about the matters of the heart. You can actually pull people, and that others are intentionally being ignorant. They are intentionally continuing to pay attention to the rat race of the illusion of it all. Of you, one side got to be the tallest and most handsome and have all this amount of money, and this person has to be, the hips have to be spread a certain kind of way and look this. So a lot of you Libras are starting to realize, like, these things become shallow, these fake metrics and fake markers or or ways that we define success. Are they nice? Ideally, yeah, they're nice. But at the same time, you're realizing that these things become shallow when that's all people pay attention to. So now the Knight of Swords and the Three of Pentacles represents. So now a lot of you Libras are realizing how much of a ripoff it is, and that the same social circle that you once hung out with, you realize now something, that now when you start being real, when you want to get to know real people because you are being real, you're actually one of the most powerful things that I ever did, Libra, that I was kind of, if I was going to really be who I am today and become better, I had to learn to stop being from the ego and start being more in the heart and in the head, and learn to have both of them work together and be more honest with myself, and to be more transparent, to show. I'm not showing my belly, but I'm saying, I'm using this as an example to kind of like show my underbelly. Like, I'm a loner, I'm a geek, I'm a person that watches, that understands Naruto, that once watched Naruto. I know who Itachi is. I wear the hidden leaf headband, that I bought from Amazon, and I scratched off, I didn't scratch off, but personally, but it came like that out of the box. It was scratched off and the reason why I bought it personally like that, right, was because it symbolized the fact that it symbolizes something for me. It symbolizes to me the fact that most people do not consider my level of success to be valuable. So therefore, the way that modern day society or the internet as they're trying to project this image on the wall, I am unsuccessful, even though in actuality, I'm quite successful in my own right. And that's the same kind of conclusion that a lot of you are going to learn to draw for yourselves, because over the next couple of weeks, Libra, you are going to start to see that the more in tune you are with yourself and the more you change and the more you become more substantial, right, and more yourselves, is the more that you will be unable to hang around certain friends and family. And even the people that you try to date, it's not going to last long, because these people, they're going to frustrate you, and they're going to be frustrated with the fact that you refuse to play this nihilistic game of wanting what it is that you cannot have, but yet at the same time making the same decisions, copy and paste, knowing where it's going to end with self-destruction, but at the same time still doing it intentionally, but proclaiming that you want different. So a lot of you Libras are very much so learning to grow up, yo, and very much so evolve. Let's clarify the Knight of Cups. It's like you know where this is going to go, so why are you still doing it? Okay, so don't complain. You better shut up when it's time now to complain, because I'm going to clown you. So to clarify the Knight of Cups, you have the Six of Wands, Three of Pentacles, Magician, and the Strength. Exactly. What's going to happen is the Six of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, you are going to become quite attractive, Libra, because that's one of the things that the vast majority, the entire society is looking for. They're looking for more people who are real, you know, who show their underbelly, who are more transparent. There's way too much cloudiness, you know, not enough see-through, the ability to actually see a person as being transparent instead of double talking. They're saying something, but they have all these meanings to where you have to examine the front of the word, the back of the word, the sides of the word, over the word, under the word. You gotta do all this stuff. So that makes you more attractive, because you have the ability to be more direct, more transparent. The Hierophant and the Strength, however, represents, for you Libras, though, it's going to want, you Libras are going to have to watch out, because as you're getting to know more people, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, the people that you hang around who call themselves your so-called friends, they're going to be big mad at you, and they're going to start to want to kind of impede or get in your business of who are you dating, so that they can kind of ruin it. So you Libras have to be very mindful about your so-called friends.